What if I told you that the single most effective thing you could do today to prevent a fall, more effective than any balance gadget, any grip sock, any bathroom handrail, is not something you buy, not something you install, and not a new exercise routine? The answer is simpler than that. It is a change in how you walk. One small, specific adjustment to a movement you have been doing your entire life, and almost certainly doing wrong for the last several years without knowing it. After 26 years of working with adults over 70 as a physical therapist, I have seen this pattern more times than I can count. A person comes into my clinic after a fall. They feel confused. They feel embarrassed. They say, "I was just walking across the kitchen. I wasn't doing anything unusual." And they are. I need you to do something for me. Subscribe to this channel right now and video like me. They are right. They weren't doing anything unusual. That is exactly the problem, because the way they walk every single day has quietly become dangerous, and nobody ever told them. Today, I am going to change that for you. I am going to show you what is most likely happening in your walk right now, why it is putting you at serious risk, and the one simple change that can begin protecting you immediately, starting with your very next step. No equipment, no gym, just one adjustment that could genuinely save your life. This is not just another health tip you hear and forget. This is a fundamental redesign of your most basic movement pattern. Think about that for a moment. Walking is something you have done literally millions of times. You learned it as a toddler. You perfected it through childhood. You have used it every single day of your existence. It is so automatic that you never think about it. And that automatic nature is exactly what has allowed a dangerous habit to creep in without your permission. It happened so gradually that you never noticed. A little less lift here, a little more drag there, a slight lean forward that seemed harmless at first. But these tiny changes compound over years until one day your own 2 feet betray you on a flat, dry, familiar kitchen floor. The fall that results is not a random accident. It is a predictable outcome of a walking pattern that has been deteriorating for a very long time. And the most heartbreaking part is that nobody warned you. Your doctors didn't mention it. Your family didn't notice. Your friends who walk the same way didn't know either. It is a silent epidemic among older adults, and it is entirely preventable with one piece of knowledge that I am about to give you. So let us start by understanding what has gone wrong in your walk and why it matters so much more than you think. The first problem is what we physical therapists call the shuffle gait. This is the most common walking pattern I see in people over 70, and it is a ticking time bomb for falls. Shuffle gait is exactly what it sounds like. Instead of lifting your foot and stepping forward, you slide your foot along the ground, taking short, hesitant steps. Your toes barely clear the floor, if they clear it at all. Your feet make a scraping sound with each step, or maybe you have stopped hearing it because you have gotten so used to it. You might even think this is just what happens when you get older, that it is a natural part of aging that you have to accept. But that is a dangerous myth that has convinced millions of people to give up on their safety. Shuffle walking is not inevitable. It is a habit, and habits can be changed, even habits that are decades old. The reason shuffle walking is so dangerous is because it turns every single step into a potential trip. When your foot does not clear the ground properly, even the smallest crack in the pavement, the thinnest rug edge, the tiniest uneven tile, or a stray crumb on the kitchen floor can catch your toe and send you falling forward. And because you are already leaning forward when you shuffle, which is another common feature of this walking pattern, you have no time to catch yourself. Your center of gravity is already ahead of your feet, so when your toe catches, you are already falling before your brain even registers what is happening. This is why so many people tell me they fell in an instant. They did not have time to put their hands out. They did not have time to grab something. They were just suddenly on the ground wondering what went wrong. The shuffle gait also shortens your steps significantly, and short steps mean you are taking more steps to get anywhere. This might not sound like a problem, but it is exhausting. You are using more energy to move less distance, which means you get tired faster, and when you are tired, your walking gets even worse, creating a vicious cycle of poor balance and increased fall risk. Furthermore, shuffle walking does not engage the muscles in your legs and hips the way a proper step does. Your glutes, your quadriceps, your calf muscles, and your hip flexors are all underused when you shuffle. Over time, these muscles weaken from disuse, making it even harder to lift your feet and take full steps. The muscle weakness then reinforces the shuffle, and the shuffle reinforces the muscle weakness, and round it goes until a fall breaks the cycle in the worst possible way. I have seen patients who could barely walk 10 feet without holding onto the wall because their muscles had become so deconditioned from years of shuffling. Yet when we started correcting their walking pattern, they regained strength and balance faster than they ever thought possible. The human body is incredibly responsive to the right kind of stimulus, and the right stimulus is simply walking the way you were designed to walk. That brings me to the second major problem in your walking pattern, which is the absence of a proper heel strike. Most people who shuffle are walking on the front part of their foot or on a flat foot where the entire foot hits the ground at once. This might feel stable because your whole foot is on the ground, but it is actually destabilizing your entire body. When you do not land on your heel first, you lose the natural shock absorption that your foot was designed to provide. You also lose the forward momentum that comes from a proper heel to toe roll. Walking without a heel strike is like driving a car without using the accelerator. You are moving, but you are not moving efficiently, and you are not moving safely. The proper heel strike is the foundation of safe walking. It involves landing on your heel first with each and every step, then rolling your weight smoothly through the arch of your foot, and finally pushing off with your toes. This is not some fancy technique that I invented. This is the way human beings were designed to walk from the beginning. It is the walking pattern that builds stability, lengthens your stride, activates your core muscles, and keeps your center of gravity in a safe position over your feet. When you use a heel strike, you automatically take longer steps because you are reaching forward with your heel. Longer steps mean fewer steps to get where you are going, which conserves energy and reduces fatigue. But more importantly, longer steps give you more time to react to changes in your environment. If you encounter an obstacle, a longer step gives your brain a split second longer to adjust your foot placement and avoid tripping. That split second can be the difference between a near miss and a devastating fall. Additionally, a proper heel strike forces you to lift your foot higher off the ground, which automatically solves the tripping hazard that comes with shuffle walking. Your toes are no longer dragging along the floor, waiting to catch on something. They are swinging forward with clearance, clearing the ground with room to spare. This is the single most immediate benefit of changing your walking pattern, and it is something you can experience literally with your very next step. I want you to understand the mechanics of what is happening when you use a heel strike. When your heel hits the ground first, the impact travels up your leg and is absorbed by your ankle, knee, and hip joints in a way that is perfectly designed to handle it. This impact sends signals up to your brain that tell your body exactly where your foot is in space, a feedback mechanism that is crucial for maintaining balance. When you walk flat-footed or on your toes, you lose this valuable feedback, and your brain is left guessing about your foot position. That guessing is what leads to those moments of uncertainty, those wobbles, those sudden grabs for the wall that make you feel unsteady. A proper heel strike eliminates that uncertainty because it gives your brain clear, consistent information with every single step. The benefits of heel-first walking go far beyond just avoiding trips and falls. They extend into your overall strength, your posture, and even your confidence. When you walk with a heel strike, you automatically engage your core muscles because your body needs to stabilize your spine as you shift your weight from one foot to the other. This means every step is a mini core workout that strengthens your abdominals and lower back without you even thinking about it. You also engage your gluteal muscles more effectively, which is huge because strong glutes are the key to maintaining an upright posture and preventing the forward lean that makes falls so dangerous. I have seen patients who suffered from chronic back pain for years find relief simply by switching to a heel-first walking pattern because it corrected their posture and took the strain off their spine. I have seen patients who felt old and fragile suddenly feel 10 years younger because they were walking with purpose and strength instead of shuffling along like they were giving up on life. The psychological impact of changing your walk cannot be overstated. When you walk with your head up and your steps strong, you feel more confident, more capable, and more in control of your body. That confidence alone reduces your fall risk because fear of falling actually makes you more likely to fall. It causes you to tense up, take shorter steps, and grip the walls, all of which destabilize you further. Breaking that fear cycle is one of the most powerful things you can do, and it starts with the simple act of walking heel first. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You have been walking the same way for decades. Your body is set in its ways. You are not sure you can change such a deeply ingrained habit. But I am here to tell you that neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new neural pathways and learn new skills, does not shut down when you turn 70. It does not shut down when you turn 80 or 90 either. Every single day, your brain is rewiring itself based on the movements you practice. If you practice a new walking pattern, your brain will learn it, and your muscles will adapt to support it. It might feel strange and awkward at first. You might have to consciously think about every step, and that is completely normal. Any new skill feels unnatural until the brain builds the pathways to make it automatic. But within a few weeks of consistent practice, you will start to notice the new pattern becoming more natural, and within a few months, you will be walking the right way without even thinking about it. That is the goal. To replace the dangerous automatic habit with a safe automatic habit that protects you every time you stand up. To help you make this transition, I have developed a series of exercises that target the exact muscles and movement patterns needed for heel-first walking. These are not complicated exercises. They do not require any equipment. You can do them in your living room, in your hallway, or even next to your bed. They are designed to be safe, gentle, and effective for people of all fitness levels. The first exercise is what I call the conscious heel strike walk. This is the foundational exercise that directly retrains your brain and muscles to perform the correct walking motion. To do this exercise, you will walk very slowly and deliberately, focusing entirely on landing on your heel with each step. You will feel your heel hit the ground, then you will roll your weight through your foot, and finally you will push off with your toes. You will take one step at a time, pausing briefly between steps to feel the position of your foot and to make sure you are not rushing. This slow, mindful walking is incredibly powerful because it forces your brain to pay attention to the movement, which is exactly what is needed to create new neural pathways. I recommend doing this exercise for 5 to 10 minutes each day in a clear hallway or open space where you do not have to worry about obstacles. If you feel unsteady, do it near a wall or a sturdy chair so you can hold on if you need to, but try to challenge yourself to let go as much as possible because the more you rely on support, the less you are training your balance. The second exercise is the high knee march, and this one is designed specifically to strengthen your hip flexors, which are the muscles that lift your foot off the ground. Weak hip flexors are one of the primary reasons people start shuffling in the first place because they simply cannot lift their foot high enough for a full step. To perform this exercise, you will stand behind a sturdy chair, holding onto the back for support, and you will march in place by lifting one knee up toward your chest as high as you comfortably can, then lowering it back down and repeating with the other leg. You will do this in a slow, controlled manner, focusing on the lift rather than speed. Try to do 10 lifts on each leg, rest, and repeat for 2 or 3 sets. As you get stronger, you can try letting go of the chair for short periods to challenge your balance, but always keep the chair within reach if you feel wobbly. This exercise not only strengthens your hip flexors, but it also trains your brain to lift your foot higher with each step, directly counteracting the shuffle pattern. The third exercise is the stride length walk, which focuses on lengthening your steps to improve your balance and reduce the number of steps you take. Short steps are a hallmark of unstable walking because they keep your feet too close together, making your base of support narrow and precarious. When you lengthen your stride, you widen your base of support in the direction of travel, which gives you more stability. To practice this, you will walk across a room, and with each step, you will intentionally reach forward with your heel to take a slightly longer step than you normally would. You do not want to overstride to the point of discomfort, but you want to feel a gentle stretch in your hips and legs with each step. Count your steps across the room and try to reduce that number by 2 or 3 steps each time you practice. This trains your body to take longer, safer strides that reduce your risk of tripping and falling. The fourth exercise is the slow motion walk, and this is one of my personal favorites because it builds balance and muscle control in a way that no other exercise can. To do this exercise, you will walk as slowly as humanly possible, taking a full 5 seconds to complete a single step. You will lift your heel, place it down, roll your weight, and push off with your toes, all in extreme slow motion. This forces your stabilizing muscles to work continuously throughout the step, building endurance and control. It also gives you time to feel exactly what your foot is doing, which is crucial for breaking the automatic shuffle habit. The slow motion walk is also excellent for building confidence because it proves to you that you have more control over your movements than you thought. When you can control a single step for 5 seconds, a normal speed step feels easy and safe. Practice this for 2 to 3 minutes each day, taking breaks as needed. The fifth and final exercise is the obstacle step over, which simulates the real-world challenges you face every day. Think about all the obstacles in a typical home: rug edges, door thresholds, pet bowls, phone charging cords, or even a pair of shoes left in the middle of the floor. These are the things that catch your toe and send you falling when you are shuffling. To train your body to clear these obstacles safely, you will place a low object on the floor, such as a rolled-up towel or a small box, and you will practice stepping over it with a high knee lift. You will approach the object, lift your leading foot high enough to clear it, step over, then lift your trailing foot high enough to clear it, and continue walking. You will do this back and forth over the object, focusing on the lift and the clearance. As you get more confident, you can increase the height of the object, but always start low and work your way up slowly. This exercise directly translates to real-world safety because it trains the exact movement you need to navigate obstacles without tripping. Now, I want to be very clear about safety while you are practicing these exercises. You should always perform them near a wall, a counter, or a sturdy chair that you can grab if you lose your balance. You should wear supportive, non-slip shoes or go barefoot on a non-slip surface, but never wear socks on hardwood or tile floors because that is a fall waiting to happen. You should stop immediately if you feel pain, dizziness, shortness of breath, or any discomfort. These exercises are meant to be gentle and supportive, not painful or exhausting. If you have had a recent surgery on your hip, knee, or foot, or if you have a condition like severe arthritis, peripheral neuropathy, or a history of strokes, you should consult your doctor or physical therapist before starting these exercises to make sure they are appropriate for you. But for the vast majority of people, these exercises are not only safe, they are life-changing, and I have seen the proof of that in my clinic thousands of times. Let me tell you about one of my patients, a woman named Margaret, who came to me after she fell in her own dining room and broke her wrist. She was 78 years old, sharp as a tack, and she was deeply shaken by the fall because she had always prided herself on being independent and capable. She told me she did not understand how it happened because she was just walking from the table to the kitchen to get a glass of water. She was not rushing. She was not carrying anything heavy. She just fell. When I watched her walk, I saw the classic shuffle gait with tiny steps and toes that barely cleared the ground. Her posture was leaning forward because her core muscles were weak and she was walking on flat feet without any heel strike. I explained to her what was happening, and she was surprised because she had no idea she was walking that way. She had been so focused on other health issues, her blood pressure, her cholesterol, her arthritis, that she had completely overlooked the way she moved. Over the next several weeks, we worked on the conscious heel strike walk and the high knee march and the stride length walk. She practiced every day, and it was not easy at first. She told me she felt like a robot trying to relearn how to walk, and she sometimes forgot to use the heel strike and defaulted back to her old habit. But she persisted because she was determined to never fall again. After about 6 weeks, she came to her appointment with a big smile on her face, and she said, "I walked to the mailbox and back today without holding on to the fence, and I did not trip once." That might sound like a small achievement, but for Margaret, it was everything. It was her independence. It was her confidence. It was her life back. She continued practicing, and within 3 months, her walking had transformed completely. She was taking full steps with a clear heel strike and a toe push-off. Her posture was upright and her stride was strong. She told me she felt like she had a new body, and she was not afraid to walk anymore. That fear had been ruling her life without her even realizing it, and now she was free. Margaret is not an exception. She is the rule. I have seen this transformation in hundreds of patients over my career, and it never gets old. Every single time I see someone walk out of my clinic with a confident stride who walked in with a hesitant shuffle, I feel like I have done my job. But I also feel a deep frustration because so many people never get the chance to learn this simple adjustment. They fall, they break a hip, they lose their independence, or worse, they lose their life, and it all could have been prevented with a change in how they walk. Falls are the leading cause of injury and injury-related death among older adults, and the tragedy is that the vast majority of them are preventable with education and practice. That is why I am sharing this information with you today, because you deserve to know the truth. You deserve to know that you are not doomed to fall just because you are getting older. You deserve to know that your body can still learn and adapt and get stronger. You deserve to know that a simple adjustment to the way you step can be the difference between a vibrant, independent life and a life constrained by fear and injury. I want you to really let that sink in. The change I am asking you to make is not complicated. It does not cost money. It does not require special skills. It is just walking the way your body was designed to walk. Land on your heel, roll through your foot, push off with your toe, and lift your foot clear of the ground. That is it. That is the whole secret. But I also want to be honest with you about what it takes to make this change stick. It takes commitment, it takes practice, it takes patience with yourself because you will forget and you will default back to your old habit, and that is okay. The goal is not to be perfect from day one. The goal is to practice consistently so that the new pattern becomes the default pattern over time. I recommend you start by practicing the conscious heel strike walk for 5 minutes every morning before you start your day. Make it part of your routine, just like brushing your teeth. Then add the high knee march and the stride length walk on alternating days so you are strengthening the muscles that support the new walking pattern. Do the obstacle step over once a week to practice real-world safety. And do the slow motion walk whenever you have a few minutes because it is such a powerful tool for building control and confidence. As you practice, you will notice changes that go beyond just your walk. You might notice that your posture improves because you are engaging your core with every step. You might notice that your back pain decreases because you are no longer leaning forward and putting strain on your spine. You might notice that your legs feel stronger because you are using muscles that have been dormant for years. You might notice that you have more energy because you are walking more efficiently and not wasting effort on a shuffling gait. You might notice that you feel more confident and less anxious about moving around your home and your community. All of these are signs that the change is working and that you are on the path to a safer, healthier future. I also want to address some common objections I hear when I teach this to my patients. Some people tell me they do not have the balance to walk without holding on to something, and they are afraid to let go. If that is you, I want you to start by practicing the exercises while holding on to a stable support. Use the back of a chair or the kitchen counter or a wall. Even holding on with one hand is enough to provide the confidence you need to practice the movement. Over time, as your muscles strengthen and your balance improves, you will find that you can let go for longer and longer periods. Some people tell me they have foot pain or arthritis that makes it difficult to walk heel first. If you have joint pain, start slowly and gently. You do not need to force the heel strike to the point of pain. Even a small adjustment toward a heel first pattern will provide benefits. And remember, walking correctly reduces the stress on your joints compared to shuffling because it distributes your weight more evenly and uses your muscles to absorb shock rather than your bones. Some people tell me they are too old to change. They say they have been walking the same way for 80 years and there is no point in trying. To that I say, you are never too old to improve your safety and your quality of life. I have worked with patients in their 90s who made remarkable progress with these exercises, and it changed their lives. Age is not a barrier to learning. It is just a number. The only barrier is the belief that you cannot change, and I am here to tell you that you absolutely can. I want you to imagine for a moment what your life would look like if you were not afraid of falling. Imagine walking through your home without scanning the floor for hazards. Imagine walking down the street with your head held high instead of looking at your feet. Imagine going to the grocery store or the mall or the park without worrying about whether you will make it back to your car safely. Imagine living without that constant underlying anxiety that one wrong step could change everything. That is the freedom that proper walking can give you. That is the gift you give yourself when you decide to make this change. And the best part is that it is never too late to start. You can start today, right now, with your very next step. Stand up if you are able, or if you are sitting, just think about the motion for a moment. The next time you walk across the room, you will take a deliberate step. You will land on your heel first, roll through your foot, and push off with your toes. You will lift your foot high enough to clear the ground. You will take a longer step than you normally would, and you will feel the difference immediately. Your body will feel more stable. Your stride will feel more powerful. Your confidence will get a boost, and with each step you take, you are building the habit that will protect you for years to come. I have dedicated my entire professional life to helping older adults live safely and independently, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that this is the most important piece of advice I will ever give you. It is not about balance gadgets or grip socks or bathroom handrails. Those things have their place, but they are passive solutions that do not address the root cause of the problem. The root cause is how you move, and the solution is how you change that movement. You hold the power to protect yourself in your own 2 feet. You do not need to rely on anyone else to keep you safe. You just need to walk the way you were designed to walk, and you need to practice that walk until it becomes your new normal. I am asking you to take this seriously. I am asking you to make this a priority in your daily life. I am asking you to believe that you can change and that this change matters. Because it does. It matters more than you know. It could save your life. It could save you from a broken hip, a head injury, a long hospital stay, a loss of independence. It could save you from the fear and the anxiety and the uncertainty that comes with living in a body that feels fragile. You deserve to feel strong and capable and safe in your own home. You deserve to walk with confidence and dignity. You deserve to enjoy your later years without being held back by the fear of falling. And all of that starts with one step, literally, one step taken the right way. The heel strike is your starting point. The exercises are your path. Consistency is your vehicle. And a safer, stronger, more confident future is your destination. I want you to commit to yourself right now. I want you to say out loud or in your head, I am going to change the way I walk. I am going to practice the heel strike. I am going to do the exercises. I am going to protect myself from falls. Say it with conviction because this is a promise you are making to yourself, and you deserve to keep that promise. In my years as a physical therapist, I have learned that the most powerful tool we have is knowledge. Knowledge of what is happening in our bodies and knowledge of what we can do to change.